YouTube is experiencing a shift.
So it seems authenticity is on the rise.
How can someone listening or watching this implement authenticity?
Understanding how to use authenticity for the greater good.
They want to see real life, honestly, and authenticity.
Authenticity is more important than ever.
YouTube is rediscovering the authenticity of genuine human connection. A lot of people are using this guy named Sam Sulik as an example. And this is because he has been incredibly successful on YouTube. He has almost 3 million subscribers, and his channel is about to be a year old. His content is usually long form. It's lower produced and appears to be lower effort. When he started his channel, he simply was using his iPhone to record, and as he's gone on with making videos, he's upgraded to use a camera, but he really started out pretty raw. No fancy editing, none of that. Just really turning on the camera and bringing people into his fitness journey. But I think an example that is more relevant to the folks that I'm speaking to is from a creator whose name is Camilla Ray, with her video titled "How YouTube Changed My Life with Less Than 500 Subscribers, My YouTube Journey." This is the best performing video on her channel. At the time of that video, she had about 200 subscribers. And now I think she has a whole bunch more. I think like over 20K or something like that. And this video inspired many others to create this kind of content, literally copying the same title and making this type of video. She really started a trend on YouTube. And in the comments, there's a number of people that mentioned how authentic this video was. And what it did was really open up an opportunity for people starting YouTube channels to express how beneficial doing YouTube and becoming a content creator has been for them, regardless of them having really high vanity metrics. They didn't need to have all these subscribers or all these views in order to feel transformed. And the way she formatted the video, her storytelling, just the kind of imperfectness and realness about it, obviously was really appealing to the audience, her audience, and the platform, really, because it's done really well. It has over 300,000 views, and it was inspiring. And though many people have copied this video, I just want to make the point that the door isn't open for just anyone to do this style of content, this really laid back, maybe it's low quality, maybe you're filming with just your phone, or this lower produced content, and see success with it. I came across this video by this guy named Kevin who was discussing the same topic of YouTube changing. And judging by his various play buttons, plus the fact that he's been doing YouTube for a while now,
10 years now,
Kevin has a seasoned and insightful point of view that I want to intertwine into the first part of this conversation. So Kevin, are there any challenges or concerns you foresee when it comes to other creators adapting to or embracing the changing dynamics of YouTube?
I think a lot of the people that are saying YouTube's returning to raw authenticity aren't wrong, but you need to have something worth aspiring to as the creator for the audience to sort of accept that level of rawness. And so I think there's a correlation personally between the level of production and storytelling and narrative, etc., that you can gain some viewership on by investing in that side of it, versus the level of sort of how much naturally you are someone that people in your audience would like to become more like. You can't just be normal on the bell curve in every sort of aspect of your life and expect that just shifting your format to that kind of content is what's going to help you break out. You need to have something special, something that makes you notable. You need to still be someone in some fashion that people aspire to, and people want to follow along and root for that story.
So I completely agree. Creators can't be average or typical and expect to thrive on YouTube. They need to offer something unique or exceptional in order to attract and retain viewers. So with the examples that I shared earlier, Sam, there's thousands of people that want to be bodybuilders or can relate from a fitness standpoint. They want to, do that type of thing. So one, there's a major quality of aspiration when it comes to him, and he's on a journey of some sort to be, I don't know, like probably a top performing bodybuilder. And there's people that want to follow along and support him in that way. So he's checking the boxes there. When it comes to Camilla Ray, there's thousands and thousands of people that want to start YouTube and have successful YouTube channels, and they want to receive the life-changing benefits that all of us are aware of when it comes to YouTube. So she is checking the boxes in that standpoint. I was watching another video on this take of YouTube changing. I believe this guy is a video editor, and he used the example of
Heinz. It's as if you played a game to change the game, but to play the game and change the game, you need to understand yourself as a player in that game. But we're not players, we are creators.
If you watch his content is paced really well. It's a really slow type of build. It is just a raw, authentic type of video content.
Essentially, guys, if it's not clear, the whole Mr. Beast style, or the editing, what is it called? Editing for retention style editing, where things are popping into the frame, graphics flying everywhere, that is falling out of popularity. And I'm not saying it's going anywhere, but what's gonna become more prominent is this more laid back, less produced style of content. So this change is kind of twofold. There's the format is changing, and then the feeling that is being given off in the content is changing. Nolan from Think Media posed a really good question.
How can someone listening or watching this implement authenticity or connection into their content?
For me, authenticity happens when you give yourself opportunity after opportunity to press record and sit in front of the camera talking to a specific group of people you hope to help or inspire with your content. Coming off as your authentic self on camera, for most people, usually does not happen overnight. But I believe that you're guaranteed to give off that authentic feeling in your content if you have consistent practice with developing your own perspective and getting comfortable with sharing it. So to Kevin's point of you need to have something special in order for this content style to work for you, you might be wondering, well, how do I tap into that special juice, as I like to call it? And oftentimes that comes from being so clear on your personal evolution that you've been able to deduce, I think is the word, a plethora of things about yourself down to a sentence, essentially, and that is your special juice. It might sound a little crazy, but I'm going to bring in a term that's usually used within therapy and it goes like doing the work. You have to go into the shadows of who you are and understand all the bad things about you, all the good things about you, and kind of go through that journey in order to really know yourself enough to the point that it comes across on camera. Everyone's shadow work looks differently, and not everyone even does it consciously, but I believe the creators that come off most authentic have dealt with themselves deep enough to be comfortable sharing their perspective and ideas with strangers on the internet. And I do want to segue into saying that right now is actually an amazing time to start a YouTube channel and get going on the platform, because oftentimes new creators don't even know how to do all that fancy editing to begin with. So since we're in an era of YouTube where that's not necessarily desired by viewers. If you are aware of what your unique qualities are, your special juice, as we've discussed, you don't need to then now pair that with super highly produced editing. All you need to focus on is bringing that to the forefront and having that come across on camera. I think Kevin did a good job addressing that there are going to be creators who try on this format style for size and they don't find the success that they're hoping for.
So I think you'll see a lot of people doing these long form, sort of raw, rough and ready videos and just not really finding a lot of success, and it'll be sort of an excuse for putting out kind of bad content, and then they'll blame the algorithm for not letting them have a piece of the pie. The problem is you're probably not good enough yet at creating engaging, informative, entertaining content and having people kind of buy into your journey.
Which I think is okay. I think just like with anything worth having, if you're not good at that yet, it's still a good time to come on here and practice. There's lower expectations, I guess, and you never know. One of your videos where you're just practicing, improving your ability to create engaging, informing or entertaining content, one of those videos just might do well for you. You just never know, so why not try? Just to recap, YouTube is entering an era, or returning to an era, however you want to call it, where connecting with the viewer as authentically as possible is paramount. The popular format is shifting to lower produced styles of content, and that really more so focuses on the editing style. I believe if you're able to invest in a camera, do that. Quality is very helpful with growing on this platform, but it's not necessary to get started. When it comes to the content creation process for creating YouTube videos, there's something called packaging. You can look at it two ways: your title, thumbnail, and hook, or your title, thumbnail, and topic, the 3 T's. And I think going forward, the topic, the subject matter, what you're discussing in your videos is so important. And the more clear you can be with what that is, the more you can get someone in the door to hang out with you and watch your video. And lastly, authenticity. It can be defined differently for different people. You may have your own definition of it, whatever that is, though. Those that can portray that in their videos are going to find success in many different ways on this platform during this particular era. So part 2 of this video, I do want to get into some strategy and implementation when it comes to this authenticity wave that YouTube is on right now. Giving your content an authentic feel is easier when you are niched down. Hey, you may not agree with niching at all, but the modern way to go about finding your niche is knowing your audience. So I just want you to keep that in mind. One of the most authentic people on the internet is Madi Woodard, and I'm going to let this marketing genius give you some more insight on this new era of YouTube.
Here's how things have changed. In the old days, and I'll use music, how many songs, let's say an album had 15 tracks on it.
Right.
How many good songs did it have to be a good album?
About half.
By half, right? By half. So let's just say 15 tracks, 7, 8 of them solid, right?
Right.
I'll give you the inverse. What I really just said is 7, 8 of them was some shit. So the same thing was happening with our content. I was following you because you was funny.
Right.
So every time you post some funny shit, I'm happy to be here. But every time you start talking about Black Power, I'm like, well, how do we get here? because I didn't come from that, right? So that's shit to me.
You being personal right now?
Nah, I'm just bringing it all the way home.
That shit
You know what I'm saying?
home.
Talking about Marcus Garvey Day. I'm here for the jokes, right? But so here's the dynamic, because in the old days, we were building our entire personality, and that's like an album. So you had a breakup song, a funny song, a club song. And that's how our content used to look. I got a funny meme, I got some game, I got some this. And it's like, I like that person. Let me follow that person. Well, now the algorithm is reading it differently. It's saying, it's so many people here making so much content, we can only afford to distribute your best work. What does that mean to us? That means instead of going wide with your content, go deep with your content. Go to the thing that you know you best at teaching and teach multiple versions of that, because the algorithm is going to read your other stuff as, nah, somebody else probably better at that. Like if I start cooking, do they show Gordon Ramsay cooking or me cooking?
Right.
But if I'm teaching content, do they show me teaching or do they show Gordon Ramsay?
Got you.
You feel me?
I think that's an amazing explanation. And my 2 cents on that is good performing content starts with a great topic. I guess I believe it's easier to craft quality topics for your videos when you have a specific area and a specific audience that you want to speak to with your content. I talked about this in my last video, but YouTube is a business.
We think they're a social media platform. They're a business. They make money when people run ads. So it makes sense for them to say, let's make this the coolest place for folks to hang out so I can sell the most ads at the highest rate. Well, how do I get y'all to come hang out over here? I got to give y'all more than I take from y'all. So I'm going to let y'all make y'all money and you ain't never got to run no ad. Just stay on the fucking platform. How you stay on the platform? Create content that make a person not leave it. And this is why the length of time matters. And this is why the quality of what you're talking about matters. I want to keep you on my page long enough to say, damn, he made me laugh. He just informed me. He just put me on game, ad. As opposed to boring YouTube, boring TikTok, right? So the people who can keep you on the platform the longest, they're going to have a fighting chance for growing.
The more understanding we have around the business side of YouTube, the better we will be able to create efficient content strategies. Like I'm basically trying to say, like, my company used to operate as a branding and digital marketing agency, right? And I had clients who had a problem connecting with their target audience online, and that's why they were coming to me. In our initial conversations, they would share with me some ideas and strategies that they have used in the past in order to connect with their target audience. And when I heard them, I would just be so confused because it felt like they were pulling these ideas out of thin air. It really didn't seem like they were taking a look at the audience first, making sure they knew them to like a T, and like also knew the culture around their target audience or anything like that, or they really didn't have a target audience in general. They thought they did, but once we got to working together, I found out they didn't. They just had a really vague sense of who they might think would buy their product or service, but they didn't truly know their audience. And so the ideas that they were trying to implement on social were so disconnected from who they actually wanted to engage with their brand. And it would just leave me wondering, like,
why'd you come up with that? Like, where that came from?
Who told you that was a good idea?
Yeah.
Who told you to do that?
Who is it for?
Right.
Right. And then can you get to those people profitably?
and I swear Madi was really speaking my language in this podcast because I couldn't have said that better myself. Are you resonating with your audience when it comes to your content? Or, you know, you can put this in a business sense and ask yourself the same question when it comes to whatever it is that you're trying to sell. The audience matters so much, and just to tie everything together here, and kind of land the plane, which is a new little phrase that I learned. But overall, whether it is you want to grow a YouTube channel from scratch, grow a channel from where it is right now, grow a business, get more sales. All of that is going to largely have to do with knowing your audience and learning the skill of being self-aware enough to inject who you are in every piece of content that you create. Authenticity. That's essentially my whole definition or basis of how to utilize this whole authenticity trend, era, however we're calling it, on YouTube. In his video, does anybody feel like YouTube is changing? I really think this creator captures the viewer's perspective of YouTube going forward.
There was just this energy, this excitement about getting onto the platform. It's felt like creators have been priming themselves and creating content for the algorithm. But things are starting to shift a little bit, and it's kind of exciting.
So that shift is being felt on the side of the audience, and I hope this video has enlightened you about how you can take this shift and make it work for you. You know, a subscriber recently said to me they are in a space where they want to make the algorithm work for them and not the other way around. And I really feel that. And I think there's a lot of good things that we discussed in this conversation that will allow you to do the same thing. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video or one of these videos right here.